Alright, how y'all doing out there? This is going to be a video on these newer engines, newer lawnmowers.
You're in for a real treat today. This is going to be so much fun.
That have the plastic carburetor on them. They have a small jet inside them that likes to get plugged up. It's very easy to unplug and clean these type of mowers out. As you can see, this mower still has the dang tag on it. I mean, it's like brand new. So I'm going to show you guys the easiest way. If I say something wrong,
you'd keep your mouth shut if you knew it was good for you, buddy.
hey, don't, feel free to correct me if that's what you want to do, but I know how to fix it. I know how to get it running. And if you want to know how to do that too, then watch the video and shut up.
I don't know how I'm supposed to respond to that.
Alright, so go ahead and remove the 3 8mm bolts on top for the top pull start cover. Remove those. Take them out of there. The top cover will just come off just like so. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and remove the air filter cover. Just clips off right here. Go ahead and take your air filter and pop that off. Alright, now we have an 8mm bolt right here. Another 8mm bolt here. And then we have the 932 and the 932 bolt. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the air filter housing. You have a little crankcase tube right here. Sometimes you got to wiggle this thing off. It's stuck on. Now what I like to go ahead and do is take the tank off with it. Makes it easier. It just kind of slides up. It has a choke lever that's on it, and it also has its throttle lever. So you would just go ahead and wiggle the carburetor like so. You just bring it back and forth a little bit until it pops off. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go turn it till the choke lever comes right off. It'll just pop off like so, and then you can angle it like this. Sometimes it gets caught, and then that just comes right off.
I'm new! I don't know what to do!
Your little linkage. I wanted to point out is sometimes when you're doing this, you're a little sealed to the back of the carburetor, and this happens a lot. What happens is it just pops off back here. So what you would do is just put the little rubber ring, seat it back in there, and then this piece just kind of clips in there. So we got our carburetor off the gas tank. We're going to go ahead and take this apart. Right under here you'll see that there's 2 bolts, and this bolt comes apart from here to the carburetor. So right underneath here you will take a flathead and you will kind of pry it in between there, and then when you kind of pull it off, the bowl will pop off. Now here is the float, and the needle is in here too, so we're going to go ahead and remove this little deal. You just go ahead and pop it up like that, pull this little needle off, show you guys. Now when you're doing this, you do not want to get carburetor cleaner on that little needle, that little rubber deal. It will swell up because you will be sorry later.
You'll pay. Listen to what I say.
How about I just go eat some hay? I can make things out of clay and lay by the bay. I just may. What do you say?
A flathead right in between here in this little deal, and we're going to kind of push in there, not too hard. You'll feel it kind of press in there, and then you just kind of pop up, and the main jet will pop out just like so. Now this main jet comes apart in 2 pieces, and it'll pop up. There we go. Go ahead and just pull it apart. Now you will see right here there's a bunch of little holes inside here that get clogged up. Also, right here on the bowl, there's a little rubber deal. If this one gets too much carburetor, you can just pull this off. That's the best to do, because if it gets swelled up, that little seal for the bowl will not go back together, and you will be you'll be pissed off. I'm pretty sure of it. Okay, so what you want to go ahead and do is go ahead and spray in the carburetor, or in the inlet for the gas. Make sure gas is flowing through it. Go ahead and just clean this out real good. You also got some jets in here. You got like a jet right here in the corner. Just spray that out. Make sure gas is coming through. Alright, now you're going to go ahead and clean this bowl out. Now, I like to take myself a little bit of speaker wire or something like that, and just poke it through this hole, something nice that'll fit through there, and kind of unclog it. Make sure that the passageway is cleared out. Make sure all your little holes here are cleared out. Now we're going to take the other piece of the jet, and you will see when I spray down in this hole, it would actually shoot through a passageway through here, and it'll come out like right there. You want to make sure that that's working correctly and that's not clogged up. See it shooting through there. But what I do is I take a little bit of transmission fluid, and as you could see, it's right here, just a tiny bit around this to kind of lubricate it up, and then I go ahead and shove this deal back in there, and you can see that it just snaps in there really good. Then what I do is I go ahead and plug the top main jet, and I will go ahead and shoot some gas, or shoot this carburetor cleaner through this hole, and make sure that it comes out the main. This is the main pickup jet right here. We'll make sure it's not clogged out. You'll see it. That's what you want. You want to see some stuff coming out like that. If you don't see that, you still got a clog. See it shooting out the top on both holes. You're going to go ahead and spray off your float. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put the main jet back in. Now right down in here in the middle of the 3 holes that are down here, there's one in the middle that the main jet goes in. Sometimes there's like a little piece of plastic that's like mounted up down in here. It actually spins inside there. It's like a little piece that'll actually pull out. It's like a little guide type little seal in there. It's hard to see, but you will see that it's blocking the hole. Sometimes you take like a little mini poker, some kind of flathead small, and you pry it. I don't know if you could even see it in the camera, but it's down in there in the middle hole. You want to make sure that that hole is perfectly opened up. So now we'll go ahead and shove that in there like so, and it just shoves in there. Alright, now we're going to take our needle and float, and we're going to set that back into the carburetor. Let's see if we can get a good angle of that. Make sure that your needle's going in there at the same time. It's just going to set in there like so. You want to make sure that this is about even, and it actually, yeah, you make sure this little deal is about even, and it will just snap back in there. Now we're going to take the bowl. This only goes on one way. There's like a little indentation right here for this piece, so you know that it goes this way and goes together. Now you will just take this and slowly turn it back and forth. It's kind of a pain in the butt too. You'll see that it's not sitting on there all the way. A little tap should be good.
Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
Bolts back in there. Take your socket. Don't tighten it up too hard because you'll strip these bolts. You know, I mean, if you know there's fresh fuel, that's cool, but it's still good to drain all this crap out anyway, because a lot of people bring me bring me mowers to fix for them, and I swear every time they have water in them. These tanks don't like to flow very fast. They have like a little screen, little mini filter screen inside the tank. Alright, so what I want to show you here is the 2 different styles. So here we have this type of carburetor. It just has a throttle. That's it. It does not have the little deal that runs over here like that other one does. And it has a primer. So when you prime it, that's what makes it fire up. The other one has an automatic choke. So when this thing gets hot, it just slightly opens up and keeps the choke off. And then when it cools down, it just starts working its way back this way, and then the choke goes back on. I'm going to go ahead and install the carburetor back onto this right now. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on. Go ahead and take your clamp it back on. Now we're going to go ahead and take the throttle lever, and we're going to go ahead and install it on the little throttle linkage. Maybe I should have came from the other angle. It goes on there like that. You can kind of tilt it and take this choke lever. It goes right on that little hole on top of the little choke lever. Hopefully you guys can see that good. Just like that. And then the carburetor slides down like this. and you just kind of wiggle it back onto the intake. Go ahead and lift the gas tank and put it back on its little guides right here. Now would probably be a good time to go ahead and put some fresh fuel in here. Give it a couple of minutes to make sure, so you don't put everything back together, put gas in it, and then it just starts dumping out of the carburetor. Sometimes you can give a little love tap on the bottom of the carburetor. Will help seat the needle. Now we're going to install the air filter housing. It has two little dills here that kind of plug into here, kind of helps guide it. It'll just kind of set in there. And then you take your little crankcase vent tube, put it on there now. Alright guys, this is basically just like a rinse and repeat. Same steps we took to take everything apart. You go ahead and take your little 932 socket, little bolts, and you put them in the little hole there. These ones go into the carburetor, so do not tighten them down super tight. Just a little snug. That's all they need. I'm gonna go ahead and put the two 8mm bolts back in. So hard either. Make sure your air filter's clean. It's all good. Go ahead and put your air filter back on there. We're gonna go take the air filter cover. We're gonna go ahead and put it into its little dills down here. Snap that back. Take our top cover. Take your three 8mm little bit back in there. Make sure they're into the hole. Get them all started. And then just a snug down. All right, if we did a good job, it should fire up first pull.
You know, men, we want a job done right and we want it done quick. What do we need?
Give it a nice good. All right, that's it. She runs like a champ.